Hello, everybody. Well, a couple things in the news of interest. First of all, the disappearance of Haley Dunn. I don't know a whole lot about it, but just from what I've been hearing on TV, she's, I think, 12 years old. She was a cheerleader. Has gone missing, and they said that her mother and her I'm not sure if he's her stepfather, but her mother and her mother's boyfriend have both failed a lie detector test. First, the boyfriend said that he would take one, and then he backed out, and then he said he'd take one, and then he backed out, and then he said he'd take one, and then they said he failed it. And then the mother was under the influence of barbiturates, I think they said, and they wouldn't give her lie detector at the first time. So the second time they gave her one, and they said that she failed. Now they're saying that the mother's boyfriend, threatened to kill the girl and Haley's mother back about a year ago. But they're saying that right now they're just looking into it. They're not sure whether he could have said it just out of anger. I've said a lot of things out of anger, and I said, like, I'm going to kill you. But I've never said I'm going to kill you out of anger. I've said it as a joke. Oh, I'm going to kill you, telling that on me or, whatever. But never really meant it. But I've never told anybody I was going to kill them out of anger. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. The other thing in the news is one of the, I think it's senator from West Virginia, wants to make it a law in West Virginia where if a child has 10 unexcused absences from school, that the parents get their driver's license revoked. Come now. He needs to stop and rethink this. Okay, first of all, which parent are they going to revoke the license from? More than likely it'll be mommy, because daddy has to go to work to provide a living for the family. Well, what about the single mothers out there? They got to make a living too. If they pass that law, it's going to make it extremely difficult for the parent who gets their driver's license revoked to go to work, to provide for the rest of the family. You might have an extremely unruly child that is just not going to listen. People, they do exist. These lawmakers tend to think, well, if you get out of bed and you make them go, they'll go. No, they won't. Not the unruly ones, they will not, and they do not care, and they are out there. They're saying this will help keep them out of the system when they get older. In other words, they're thinking that if you skip school like that, you're going to end up in jail. I know a lot of kids that have skipped, well, not a lot, but I know some kids that have skipped school, and they're doing very well today. And as a matter of fact, I myself used to play hooky now and then when my mom and daddy didn't know about it. But they're saying that parents need to be more responsible. Okay, look at it this way. Joe, he used to get on that school bus, and he would get off that school bus at school. But school would call and tell me he wasn't there. And then he's admitted to me that he got on the school bus and he got off at school and then took off behind the school and went and played hooky. But he's doing very well for himself today. And he's not a bad person, and he's never been in jail. So it's like this. You got some kids out there that just don't give a damn, pardon my French, and they're going to skip regardless. So the parents are going to end up getting in trouble for it. Now, this is my solution. If I were a lawmaker, this would be my solution, and I'm not sure how it would work, but I think we should give it a try. Let's see how this works. If a child skips school repeatedly, why don't we punish the child? Did I say something wrong? Did I offend somebody? Punish the child. Either put the child in some kind of reform school to where they will have to go to school because they're in reform school. Or a juvenile detention center is what I mean to say. That's basically all the same thing. Or, let's see, if a child skips school continuously, let's tell that child that's going on your permanent record, and you won't be able to get your driver's license until you're 21. Now, why not do it that way? Because let's see, if a child habitually skips school, are they going to be more likely to go to school when their parent is threatened with getting their license taken away? Or when they're threatened with their license? I think that they would more likely go to school if they knew that they wouldn't be able to get their license until they were 21. And if they get their license when they're 16 or whatever, if they skip school, take that license away from them. I don't know why lawmakers. This is what's wrong. In my opinion, this is what's wrong today. The children get away with way too much, and they're blaming the parents. First of all, the lawmakers strip the parents of all their rights. You can't spank your child. And if you say a harsh word to them in public, well, that's abuse. Let's get, social services involved in this. So basically, the children know this. See, you all make it sound like, the lawmakers make it sound like that children can't think very well. They're not aware of consequences. Yes, they are. And they are very well aware of the fact that you can't raise a hand to them and you can't spank them or anything else, or mommy and daddy's going to get in trouble. Mommy and daddy is going to get their license revoked and blah, blah, blah. And they did have it a few years ago that they wanted it to be to where if a kid skipped school, that the parents had to go sit in the classroom with the child all day. Again, punishing the parent. Then they had it, well, if the child skips school, why don't we put the parent in jail for 3 days? Again, punishing the parent. They need to wake up and realize that these little monsters out there that are being created like this just do not care. And they are the ones steady laughing at the adults. And I know I'm going to get a lot of slack on this video from people who just want to take up for children endlessly, just like I did on my, I did a video about should you spank your children, child spankings and stuff. I've had thousands of views on that video, and I've got tons of negative feedback, but I've got a lot of good feedback on it too. And a lot of the good feedback that I got on that video was from teenagers themselves, saying that their parents do spank them, and they're glad that their parents spanked them and have spanked them all their life. They're glad for that, they said, because they said they feel like it's made them a better person. So, that's just, and before you put a bunch of negative stuff in the remarks, this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion on how I feel about it. And if you want to, if you've got negative feedback on it, you may as well not tell me, because I'm not going to change my mind, And if you don't like my opinion, then you don't have to watch the video. It's just simple as that. But anyway, once I get on the subject of teenagers and stuff, it makes me crazy. And I think I've told this before, when Joe was in high school, like I said, he'd been getting on the bus every morning, going to school. Well, I got the phone call one day that he hadn't been in school in X amount of days. This was on a Friday. And I asked him about it. I said, the school just called and told me you hadn't been in school all week. Oh, he swore they was lying, he said. He swore they was lying. I said, so in other words, I said, if I go to that school Monday and talk to them and have them call you into the office, you're going to sit there and tell them the same thing, that they're lying. He said, yes, I will, because they are lying. Monday, I go to the school. And I tell them in there, I said, he says you all are lying. And I want to call him in here and have him confront you with it. And so they said, well, ma'am, he's not in school today. So see, he knew I was going to the school. And he knew he was already in trouble. But he skipped again. This is what I'm saying. I did everything I could with him, and he wouldn't go. So, there you go. And I know my niece, and she knows who she is out there if she's watching this. She used to be bad about skipping school too. We used to catch her. We'd be going out somewhere, and there her and her friend be going down the street. And then they'd see us in the car, and they'd take off running down through the woods. We'd have to stop, turn around, and I remember my mother went and hollered at her, and we took her back to school, and they put her in detention. But it didn't stop her from skipping. It did not stop her from skipping. And she never went to jail, and she's a mother of 3 to this day and is doing very well. So you see, just because a child skips school does not mean they're doomed and they're no good and their parents are non-supportive and they're going to end up in jail and the parents shouldn't have a driver's license and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I'm going to stop on this subject for now, and I guess that's about it. And until next time, bye-bye.